As we all know, the journey of life can be described as a winding river full of unexpected twists and turns.
Well said. How you navigate the highs and lows can be the difference for living a happy, fulfilling life. Joining us today, Regina Brett, the Ravenna native, a New York Times best-selling author, here to talk about her new book called Little Detours and Spiritual Adventures. Good morning.
It's great
Thanks
to
for
have
being here.
you.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh my goodness, again,
Yeah.
another great book.
Yeah, you know, and it's got so many great little stories. You know, we're just kind of flipping through and taking a look at some of them. You look at them and you, like you said, you just think about how good your life is when you realize what else is out there.
Well, and also when you get through a detour, because
Yeah.
all of us face things, a diagnosis or the loss of somebody we love, or just some difficulty you didn't see coming. And when you first hit it, it's like a real detour. You don't want to go down there. You don't want to take that other road. Yeah. But then once you're on that other path, it takes you somewhere you wouldn't plan on going and changes you, blesses your life. And then the best thing is when you can help somebody else who's facing that same detour, because then it's kind of a win-win.
No doubt. I mean, we can't plan for these things. How do you turn your mindset around it? Because a lot of people, when, as you mentioned, death or divorce or something horrible that happens in your life, it can really break you.
It really can, and I find when I'm in the midst of it, I have to kind of hit the pause button and say, okay, don't awfulize, don't go in tomorrow or yesterday, or you know, how it was so good yesterday, or it's going to be awful tomorrow.
Right.
I try to stay put in this day and say, okay, what can I learn from this? Because life is our teacher. Life is our best friend. You know, sometimes we think it's our frenemy, you know, because whatever it throws our way. But there's a gift in every experience. You know, when I had cancer, I lost my hair and I was bald. It did not at all look like any kind of gift. But years later, when I could help create a wig salon at the Gathering Place, and they have free wigs, thousands of people have gotten free wigs. So if you use your experience to somehow bless the world, then it becomes the gift. And I think we all have that opportunity. Whether you have a son with autism or your sister has bipolar disorder, whatever those things that we don't think we want become some way that take us into a community we would never have been a part of. But all those people bless our lives.
I think you're so right. And sometimes it is just that switch in your head to just say, I'm turning this around. I'm going to make myself stronger because of this. And sometimes it's even those things like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do this. Or I always will check myself and the kids and I'll say, we get to do this. Like, how lucky are we that we have the chance and the opportunity to do this, whether it's helping other people or whatever, but that's a wonderful thing.
The get to is a big thing. My first book, God Never Blinks, the first chapter was on
I love that book, by the way. I was going to bring that up. I love it.
You know, because you think it's a have to. Oh, I have to go do laundry. I have to go play catch with my son. You have a son and you have a laundry in your own house. Like, I remember those days going to laundry.
And you're physically able to do both of those, right?
It's all a get to. And I think if you look at it, it's happening for you, not to you. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of something, it's a life experience that's going to expand your life. Wow, that's a different way to look at cancer or any kind of difficulty. How is this going to change my life and bless other people? And it's not about having the longest life possible, but the deepest, most meaningful. How can you make this life count? That's one thing cancer gave me as a gift was every day, I hate to say it, but I live the hell out of every day. That's awesome. Because it's a blessing. All those things that, you know, I don't think I want to do, I'm still here to do them, I get to. It
to
really
get to.
is a blessing.
Yeah.
When you talk about the book, are these all from your experience, or did you borrow some of these from other people as well?
Well, a lot of them are my experiences, but then I also had interviewed people, you know, as a journalist. I'm now at the Cleveland Jewish News, and you meet people, you talk to people, and everybody has a different detour. So the book is full of my stories, but other people too. I talked to Sophie Sereau, who survived a terrorist attack, and talks about how you can choose to survive. Ian Freeman, a local attorney who was in a motorcycle accident, lost the use of one of his arms, but talked about how it changed his whole life. He became a different person because of that. It put the brakes on the life he had and gave him a whole new one. You can't see it in the midst of it, but down the road. And hopefully this book will help you see that down the road, where's the gift in this? So there are a lot of other people's stories too.
Wonderful, wonderful gift for people, especially during the holidays. Also, you're doing so many great book signings upcoming now, so you'll have the opportunity to actually have you sign it as well. I love, it says, this book shares your experiences and stories, but it's about finding the awe in awful, the mystery in mistakes, and the magic in the mess.
And there is magic in all that mess. Some of the worst things you look back and go, we have this Christmas where everything fell apart. And it was my mom's last Christmas. And she spent the entire day with me. And I realized looking back now, that was the gift.
Yeah.
Was my mom was with us all that day, even though everything else fell apart.
Right. You still
She
have that.
loved the chaos. She had 11 kids. To her, it was just life, you know.
And those
So
are the
gifts.
the
Those are
times that you remember the most.
Exactly. And so I have a website, reginabrett.com, and there's a list of events there. You can also buy the book there. So it's kind of a one-stop shopping, but I really feel like it's a one-size-fits-all book, whatever you're going through, and especially with holidays. You know, everybody has all this joy and celebration. A lot of people don't feel it. Well, I think this book helps you find the gratitude that's within your life. It might not stack up to somebody else's, but it doesn't need to.
That's
Gives you
so true.
perspective.
Yeah, it's not a competition, right?
No, but sometimes you're on Pinterest, you're like, oh, my turkey doesn't look like that, or my family doesn't look like Hallmark. It's okay. Wherever that mess is, it's your mess, and like own it and enjoy it.
I just could listen to you nonstop. You are so good. God Never Blinks is on my bedside table, my mom's too. It's very special. That's
So
a
I
great
hope this
book,
one
so-
ends up on nightstands,
It will.
bed tables,
It
whatever.
will.
Little
It will.
Detours and Spiritual
Thank you.
Adventures, Regina Brett. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So
Have a
good
great
to see you.
holiday.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Check out
Thank
the
you.
book
It's
signings next
amazing.
week, too.